everyone, it's Shel from StencilGirl Studio, and I am so excited. I can hardly stand it. Guess what? I designed some stencils, and they are being produced with my designs by StencilGirlProducts.com. Yes, you can go purchase these stencils that I designed over there and use them in your own art. I'm just thrilled. I love StencilGirl Products. I love everything about their company, how they treat their designers and artists, how they produce their products. Everything about them is great. And so I'm really excited and honored to release my first 3 stencils that I designed. And yeah, I'm just so excited. Okay, so calm down, Shel. All right. The first one that you're seeing here on the screen is called Cactus, and it's a 6x6 stencil. And I drew it, and then they sent me some prototypes, and I'm playing with my prototypes. This video is about the way I started playing with my prototype stencils to see if I thought everything was great about them and if I thought that the little bridges and things were in the right places. Because being a brand new stencil designer, you know, it's not as easy as it looks. You got to think a lot about how to make sure that the stencil doesn't just fall apart when you cut it, right? Because it could just fall out if you don't have little things that connect everywhere. So this one is well, they're all hand drawn, but this is my 6x6. I decided to use the gel plate, and I had been gel printing with them before this, and I just decided I would turn on the camera and get some footage just in case I needed it, and of course I do need it because I want to show them to you. So the first thing I was doing with my little 6x6 gel plate and my 6x6 stencil is using some pan pastel on the gel plate. And I have other videos if you guys really want to go into detail about how you do that, but it's super simple. You just put the pan pastel through the stencil or just on the plate, and you know, you can just pick it up with a layer of acrylic paint, which is what I did with this one. However, this first one, my plate was dirty and it didn't come out super clean. And so I cleaned my gel plate with some baby oil and a paper towel and got it nice and clean. I know it doesn't look clean. This is just what a well-loved, well-used gel plate looks like. That's how they, you know, as they age, they start to change color. But I wanted to try it again with some brighter colors maybe and a cleaner gel plate. So I repeated the process. After I cleaned it, I put the stencil down onto the plate. When you put a stencil on a gel plate, it just sticks real nicely and doesn't wiggle for you, which is nice. And then I'm using different colors of pan pastel. It's a chalk-like product. And little cosmetic sponges to sponge through the stencil. And then once I removed the stencil, I put a little bit in the background, just directly onto the plate, the sand and the sky, basically. And then all you do is put a thin layer of acrylic paint with a brayer over this whole thing and pick it up with a piece of paper. So I'm using text weight paper for these. It's just really just paper from my printer. That's all it is. And I'm kind of coloring it in and you know, doing a little bit of artsy stuff, whatever, with it to see what I can get out of a print like this. So then I used some light blue acrylic paint and brayered that on there with my brayer. Remember, you want to be able to see through the acrylic paint. You don't want too much on there. You want to be able to see through it. So if you've got too much, you can brayer it off on an extra piece of paper. Then once you peel this one up, you'll see what happens. A lot of that pan pastel came off the plate onto the acrylic paint, and that's a beautiful print, beautiful. And I go ahead and embellish that one later on a different video. You'll see all these things that I worked on in this video, in more videos coming later. Then you can, with a pan pastel print, you can pick up more than one. You'll get like a little kind of a ghosty, lighter print, and you can maybe even do it 3 or 4 times if you want to. I think I just made one, but I used some white and picked up some more pan pastel, and it's a lot lighter than the first one, but still very, very cool. And I think that after that, I cleaned the rest off. So I switched to a larger plate and a larger stencil. This one's called Cactus Garden. It's a 9x12. And I've got the little numbers up there, letters and numbers for you to order them from StencilGirl Products. I, of course, will also put links below the video for you to just click and go straight over there to find the stencils easily. You know, StencilGirl Products has lots of stencils, so, you know, you might need a little bit of help finding them. So I put the plate down on I put the larger plate down. This is a 12x12 gel plate. Put some white acrylic paint through the stencil, and then I wanted to pick it all up with this piece of black text weight paper, but it wasn't quite dry. It was kind of strangely humid that day and wasn't drying as quick as I'm used to. So I set that one aside to dry with the paper still on it. And I switched back to my 6x6, and this is a different stencil. This is the third one. It's called Saguaro Scene. I know there's a G in there, but that really is how you pronounce it, Saguaro. Saguaros are the big, basically trees that we have in Arizona, in Tucson. They only live in the Sonoran Desert. They only grow in the Sonoran Desert, and they can be like 12 or 15 feet tall. It takes them 100 years just to grow an arm. You know, there are state cactus, and I am so inspired by everything that I see around me, the nature around me, and the colors. I just wanted to highlight the saguaro on one of my stencils a lot. This stencil was drawn by looking at a photograph that I took, and it's in the Catalina Mountains, Catalina State Park across from where I live. And you climb up there, you hike, and you get to this little peak. There's a bench there that someone has put, so you can sit down and you can look at this beautiful scene of the Push Ridge Mountains, and then this kind of line of saguaros planted along there that, you know, goes in your view, goes from bigger to smaller. So it's really a cool place to go, and I thought it would be a great stencil. So I've set aside the 6x6 to dry, and now I'm back to the 9x12 again with the 12x12 plate. And I pulled off some of that white paint that I put through the stencil, and then onto that black paper. And then there was still some left, so I decided to put some alcohol ink on there. Yes, you can use alcohol ink with your gel plate. It's not gonna change anything. I just splattered it on there with the hopes that I could pull that whole thing up again with the white in front and the alcohol ink in the background. That was my plan. Set that one aside to dry. I came back to the 6x6, and here is the alcohol ink print with the 6x6. This is a 9x12 stencil, but it still looks really cool if you just use only part of it on the 6x6 plate. So it's a very versatile stencil. However, I really loved how that looked, but I felt like it maybe needed a little bit more definition so you could see what it was. Of course, if you're going to use it for collage material or something like that, maybe you don't need to do this step. Or maybe you're happy with the way it was, or maybe you wanted to use a pen, an ink pen or something to add detail. Whatever. You've got so many options. This is my playtime. This is how I'm trying out my new stencil designs to see if how they come out when I use them. That's the whole process going on here. So I took some different acrylic paint colors. These are kind of pastel colors, and I stenciled through the stencil all over the top of that print. And I thought it turned out really cool. I liked the way it turned out. So I thought, okay, well, I might do that some more in a minute. But first I need to lift this print. Remember, this had white stencil designs on it first. And then I put alcohol ink over the top of it. And now I'm using some Naples yellow acrylic paint to pull it up onto a piece of deli paper. I'm getting some wrinkles because this is deli paper. That just happens. Sometimes it's not completely smooth, but it's not a big deal. And I'm trying to pull every single thing up. I do like to gel print with stencils and make a lot of layers on the plate and then pick up all of it at the same time with one thin layer of paint on the top. So this one didn't have much definition either, I didn't think. It looks really cool. It would make beautiful collage paper. I love the colors, the peach and the olive and sage color greens mixed with it, which is very, very the colors of where I live. But I wanted to see what it would look like if I added more definition back in. So I put the stencil back over the top. I got some, I think it's phthalo blue or phthalo blue green maybe, acrylic paint. And I stenciled over the top of that print with this blue, turquoisey blue paint to see how that would work. Just still playing with them, trying them out, seeing what I get when I get it. And like I said before, these prints, some of them you will see coming up in videos in the next few days. So you can see what I did with them or how I finished them, or I mean, not all of them, because I probably made, I don't know, 25 or 30 prints today. But yeah, that looks really cool, right? With the turquoisey blue over the top of all those other interesting colors. You could just frame that and be done. So then I thought, okay, I've got a few other ones that don't have a lot of definition from my gel printing with alcohol ink. So maybe I would try that same trick on a few other ones, using some different colors, trying it out. So like I said, I am going to have some more videos of finishing things with some of these. And also, I do plan to have a cactus stencil giveaway on my YouTube channel and on my Instagram. So if you follow me on either of those platforms, you'll see coming up in the next few days after the stencil release, opportunities to win these stencils. And of course, links to the stencils that go to StencilGirlProducts.com will be below the video, and you can go over there and just buy them and not try to win them if you want. That's fine too. I would be super happy if you did, so give it a try. So here is another one yet that I'm going to do the same thing. I'm using I'm just trying different color combinations, because these ones that I'm printing over the top or that I'm stenciling over the top are prints that were like maybe the second or third alcohol ink print, or maybe the second or third pan pastel print, and maybe they just didn't have enough definition. That looks really cool with the dark teal over the top. Really liked that one a lot. It looks like a sunset here. We have really beautiful sunsets in Arizona, and that really reminds me of going out in my backyard and looking at the sunset, because there's saguaros back behind my house in a wash, which is basically a dry river. There's lots of them out there, and then that faces to the west where the sun sets. So sometimes we get pinks and purples and oranges. Just got a lot of good sunsets in Arizona. So then this one, this was the very first print I pulled at the beginning with the pan pastel. And I decided to use the color Sedona, which is from Dina Wakely, her heavy body paints, because Sedona is in Arizona, and that's the color of the rocks there. And I just wanted to see what it would look like. And then I also got an interesting piece of collage paper by turning the stencil over and just rubbing over the back of it, trying to clean some of the stuff that was building up off. And I ended up getting this kind of tan color with spots of that Sedona, which I've already used that piece of collage paper on something else because it was cool. It was cool. And you couldn't really tell what it was, so pretty cool. So thanks so much for watching this introductory video to my cactus and desert scene stencil designs that you can get from StencilGirl Products. And thanks to StencilGirl Products for giving me a chance to design for them. I'm really excited to do this and to be this and to have this. I'm thrilled to death. This is the last one for today. I used the leftover Sedona and then a little bit of that leftover dark teal color to finish this one. And that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.